Hello, Amy White with Worthy Written Words, and today we're in our New Testament journaling edition in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. The first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering up the part of verse 7 where it talks about you reap what you sow, and we're going to use this just with some small junk wash tape that we don't care about, and we're willing to just use it to cover this up. Next, on our sticker sheet, we're going to take the peaches that have 4 of them on a branch, and that's what we're going to be peeling up to put at the top of our page. The leaves that don't come with it are fine. We're going to pull those off separately and add them where we want them. So I'm putting this in sort of a diagonal position, and then I'm going to use scissors to cut off anything that hangs off of my pages. Carefully, I'm going to peel off this leaf so that it's not covering up the main verse, and I'm just going to cut it off of the peach and then put it up a little bit higher so it's out of the way for when I go to highlight this main verse later on. And now, using these extra leaf stickers, I'm going to place them wherever I feel like it's good to fill up some white space that's showing. Next, I'm going to use the stickers that have 3 peaches on the branch, and I'm going to put it so that the branch is coming off of my footnotes. Again, I'm going to cut off any excess that hangs off of my page, and then I'm going to use the remaining leaves that are on the sticker page, and I'm going to put them around to fill in that part of the page as well. Now I'm going to place this large leaf into the bottom corner of my page, but I'm going to leave it low enough so that I'm leaving some blank space in the middle of the margin where we'll be putting our words. Now, using these insect stickers, I'm going to put just a few of them around the page. You can put more or less to your liking. I just didn't want to take away from the cuteness with having so many bugs, but I did want the bugs to be there as a reminder of the devotional for this kit. So I'm playing around here figuring out what bugs I want to use and where I want to put them. And in the end, I ended up putting a fly up by the page number, but that didn't end up being a good idea because in the end, that's where I put the washi tape with the page topper. So if you are copying my page exactly, you don't want to put the fly up by the page number. You want to leave that space open, and you can put the fly somewhere else, maybe by where the words will go or something like that. Now I'm going to use my Distress Oxide and a water brush pen, and I'm not really using a lot of water. It's just a little bit damp so that it'll pick up the Distress Oxide off of the ink pad. And I am distributing the oxide all around my stickers. I'm doing it this way because using a mini ink blending tool is not going to let you get into all the little details of these stickers. So I'm doing multiple coats all around the stickers with my water brush pen, and you can go as many coats as you want. Eventually, with the distress oxides, you will reach the maximum saturation that they will achieve. So you can have it as light or as dark as you want, and by not using a lot of water, you don't have to worry about prepping the page, and it won't bleed through. Now using our mini ink blending tool and the foam circle brush, I'm going to fill in the rest of the page using circular blending motions as I push down the ink on my page. And since I didn't prep the page, it's possible that you could have a hard time blending this depending on if you struggle with this blending motion, but I didn't have any problems. It's just, I feel like it blended just fine for me. And if this is something that you're worried about in the future, like I mentioned at the beginning, you can always prep your page with clear gesso. But as long as you push hard, get a lot on your ink foam pad and press down hard and continue in circular motions, you should be able to blend this out pretty well. Then in order to try and help make the transition from the water-based one that I did and then the middle section that didn't use water, I'm just going to spritz some water on my entire page, and using just any sort of water, any sort of sprayer bottle will work. And in doing this, it activates the Distress Oxide and it gives it a different look to it. And so I didn't do a lot of water. You can do multiple layers if you want more of a reaction to happen to your background. But then when it's done, I just use my heated tool gun to dry that off real quick. Otherwise, you can just let it air dry. Now I remove the washi tape, and then I'm going to put the You Reap Where You Sow stickers into the margin. Now I'm going to start with the word reap because it's the longest and it does not fit into the margin. It has to go below the words. So by putting that one down first, I can then figure out where the rest of my letters need to go. Now using the 3D foam squares and the cutout peaches, I'm going to put two of them up above and one below. You have three, so you can add another one if you want. I just went with two. It's totally a personal preference. You could have another one in the bottom right side of your peach branch if you want. I just put these peaches so that they aren't exactly as the other ones. It looks like an additional peach and it's popping up off the page. So I have two 3D foam dots for each peach, and then I used a half of a foam square, and I used a half of the foam square for the peach leaf. I use a regular black jelly roll pen to outline the part of verse 7 that I want, and I just go right over the sticker with that, and it just, don't mess with it, don't smudge it, and just let it dry. Now we're going to cut out this is Shrinkie Dink paper, and so we're going to cut out this peach, not directly on the peach itself, but I left a little white border around it. And there's a few different ways that you can do a Shrinkie Dink. Now, because all ovens are a little bit different and you only have this one, it's kind of hard to do some trial and error. So the best way, the most foolproof way to make this work is to use a heated tool if you have one. You could try a blow dryer. I've never done this with a blow dryer. Now I'm showing this to you in real time. This isn't sped up at all because I want you to see about how long it takes before the Shrinkie Dink paper activates with the heat. What it's supposed to do is after it has the heat applied, it's going to curl up, and it's going to curl up all up on itself, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, I ruined it, what's going on? But you just keep applying the heat, and then after a little while, because it's shrinking, and that's why it's curling, but after a little while when it's done shrinking, then it will begin to flatten back out. And when it stops moving, then you want to put something really hard and flat on top of it. I chose to use an Old Testament book, and I pressed down really hard. So here you can see it shrunk, it curled up, and now it's starting to flatten back out. If you don't have a heated tool and you want to try it in your oven, you're going to turn it on to about 329 degrees Fahrenheit. The instructions are in Celsius, that's why it's a weird Fahrenheit number. Then you line a cookie sheet with some parchment paper and you put it in the oven after it's preheated, and it's going to do the exact same thing as it did upstairs with the heated tool. But the difference is that some ovens, what we found is it will start to curl up on itself like it's doing here. You can see now this one I didn't cut out the leaf like I did upstairs, so that could have an effect as well. But in the oven it'll start to curl up on itself, but then it doesn't flatten back out, and so it became a problem trying to get them to be flat before they hardened again. But if it gets hard again, then you can try a blow dryer or something to get it soft, to heat it back up, and try your best to flatten it out. I know it's hard only having one. You got one shot at it, and it either works or it doesn't. So if it doesn't work for you, then I would suggest either getting some Shrinkie Dink paper and doing some trial and error and seeing how it works best for your oven. But again, like I said, the heated tool is almost foolproof that I found. So here in my oven, it's been baking for 1 to 2 minutes. You can see it's starting to flatten back out. And once it stops moving, then I'm going to take it out of my oven. And again, I'm going to put something really, a big heavy book on it to try and flatten it. Please disregard how dirty my oven is. And also, this is in real time because I want you to see exactly the process without it being sped up. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to actually place a thing of like home improvement stuff because it's heavy. So I put another piece of parchment paper just to kind of help it flatten out, and I put this heavy thing on top of it while it's still partially in the oven so it doesn't cool down too fast. And then after it's sat and cooled down on my counter, then I have a successful flat, and it doesn't even have to be perfectly flat, but good enough Shrinkie Dink. And now we're going to do what we always do, and we're going to put some hot glue on this piece of felt with the paper clip and attach that to the back of our Shrinkie Dink. And then we're going to put that on our book page at the top and finish it off with some cute peach washi tape. I hope you guys had fun trying out Shrinkie Dinks, and always Distress Oxides are always so much fun and easy to work with. So be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos, and if you need, you can order this kit in the description notes or join the subscription where you can get kits sent to you each month. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.